Welcome to another Whiskey Wednesday. All right, welcome to another Whiskey Wednesday. I'm Zach. As always, if you enjoy what we do here on this channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so that you're notified when we have new videos. And if you're so inclined and enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up and drop in the comments. Right now, I'm going to tell you, hey, why don't you let me know what your favorite American whiskey is in the comments. So it is my birthday week, so I decided to treat myself to something I've been looking for a while. It's a bottle of Old Forester 1910. I'd heard very good things about this whiskey, and I had been wanting to try it for quite some time. Now, what I will say is it's a pretty easy drinking whiskey. I do enjoy it. I have had a couple samples of it before the video today. I love the way that they word the things on the front of some of these labels. In 1910, a fire on Whiskey Row led to Old Forester being rebarreled into heavily charred barrels. This double-barreled expression follows the same process as the original old, fine whiskey. It's just great. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, first bottled bourbon. Established 1870. 93 proof, 46.5% ABV. So it's there. You can feel it, right? I do like the bottle. I think that it's got some nice round lines. It's very different than the Tullamore bottle that I spotlighted a couple weeks ago, but it's a completely different whiskey, obviously. That was a traditional Irish whiskey. This is American Kentucky to the core. I have tried it both ways, okay? I've tried it completely straight and neat, and with ice. And I will say that what I've discovered since I've begun making clear ice is iced really brings out the flavor profiles for all of the whiskeys. I will stand by that. Oh, that's really good. Yeah. And this is no different. Also, and I know some of you other whiskey aficionados are going to chide me for this, but look, it removes some of the burn, okay? That doesn't make me less of a man, right? It doesn't make me less of a whiskey lover, but why be uncomfortable? It's kind of like when people put ghost pepper in their food, and it's so hot that you can't even enjoy the food. What is the advantage to the burn? I can't really think of any myself. All right, so I have no problem putting a little ice in there, softening the touch a little bit, and allowing my palate to open up and enjoy the flavor of the whiskey. Especially because as adults, except for that one time in September where Woodford Reserve and I had a disagreement, we don't drink whiskey to get drunk. We drink whiskey to enjoy the whiskey. So why not cut a little of the burn off? Why not open up the flavor? It makes it so much more delicious, in my opinion. A lot of people just like to drink their whiskey straight, a finger or two, and no ice, and they like it room temperature, and there's a lot that can be said for that, but in this case, I really do think on ice is the way to go. I learned how to make clear ice from a Jeremy Sires video, so you should check it out. It's really easy, and it's actually kind of fun and satisfying. It's almost like ASMR satisfying to make the ice and cut it down into blocks. But I mean, if you look at that, that is a clear, very clear ice cube. Okay. So, what do we know? This whiskey is distilled by us only, and we are responsible for its richness and fine quality. Its elegant flavor is solely due to original fineness developed with care. There is nothing better in the market. Okay. It's good. Distilled and bottled by Old Forester Distilling Company, Louisville, Kentucky. It's good. It is a good whiskey. But what I will say is, to me, nothing really jumps out at me. I'm trying to see what... The nose gets me a little... I can smell a little bit of a woody aroma. Like wood shop, wood grain. And full disclosure, my sniffer, strangely, this is going to be really, you're going to think this is weird. My sniffer is back to normal, after the second time I had COVID. The first time I had COVID, lost taste and smell. My sniffer's been off for probably well over a year. I just had COVID again last week, and it feels like it kicked my sniffer, like my nose, right back to where it was supposed to be. And I'm picking up all kinds of notes and flavors and things that I could not have picked up 2 to 3 weeks ago. So it's really wild. COVID is a weird thing, man. And having it twice is awesome. No, so at least I have other things to look forward to, like whiskey. It is really good, and it's with the ice in there. It's very, very, very smooth, very, very, very smooth. I've heard, and my plan is to try it out, that just the regular Old Forester and the regular Woodford, I've heard a lot of people say that they're actually tastier than the 1910 and then the double oaked, which I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but so far in my whiskey adventure, the double oaked is far and away my favorite. But I would be interested to find out if I could get a similar flavor, not for $70 a bottle. That'd be great. Old Forester here retails for about $58 US, so that's pretty reasonable. You know, it's a 750 milliliter bottle. There's a lot of whiskey there. I feel like because there aren't a ton of flavors going on in this, if you decided to use it as a mixer and made it last a little longer, it wouldn't be, you know, like whiskey sacrilege. But for, you know, $58, you almost kind of want to drink it straight because you feel like you earned it by paying for it. But to each his own. Color, it's a little lighter colored whiskey, I think, but that might be because of the ice cube in the water, all right? Doesn't have that crazy whiskey aftertaste. What I've noticed is a lot of times in the morning after I drank whiskey the night before, it still lingers on my palate, which I have not noticed so much with the Old Forester. All right, according to Old Forester, the taste profile, this is kind of funny. Oatmeal raisin cookie, chocolate leading into candy corn. I don't get hardly any of that. But you know what? The nose does air to a cookie. I don't know that I'd say oatmeal raisin. But yeah, there's definitely a cookie smell to it, which now that I recognize that, makes it all the more delicious because clearly, as evidenced by my physique, I love cookies. And anything that would taste or smell like cookies has got to be amazing. So Old Forester undergoes a second barreling, which is what they use to mimic that fire-charred barrel happy accident that happened during the fire. And I'll say, I mean, it has been my experience, my very limited thus far experience, as I take you on this journey with me as a new whiskey connoisseur, that anything that is barreled more than once is more flavorful and less burny. It enters the second barrel at 100 proof, and then the sugars and everything break down and make it, that's what gets us to the 93 proof. And I think that that's the way to go. You know, these 120, 100 proof whiskeys, it's almost like it's some kind of weird, again, Scoville unit contest like you would have with hot peppers, that you're just trying to prove you're so much man that you can handle it. You don't get to enjoy it as much. It's just too much. Like, I'm not a horseback rider, but I have to imagine if I were, I would enjoy a nice gallop as opposed to just getting kicked square in the teeth by a pinto. All right, so let's talk about flavor. The more I drink this whiskey, the more I let it sit with an ice cube, the more that I'm able to get my nose on it and start picking out flavors, the more I like it. I would say out of the whiskeys I've tried thus far, Old Forester is going to be my second favorite. It is a nice, steady sipping whiskey. It's great for this time of year. I live in Iowa. It's cold outside. It's going to be a high of 1 tomorrow, 1 degree Fahrenheit, so that's going to be great. It's a good sipping whiskey for when you're cold, when you just want to sit down and maybe play a little PlayStation and kick back. One of these days I'm going to do a studio tour, show you what I've built here, what I've created, because I also host a podcast called Misinformation Podcast. We've got over 300 episodes. We've interviewed some really cool celebrities. Check it out if you're so inclined. Misinformation.podbean.com, or you can get it on iTunes or whatever other podcast catcher you use. It's a comedy podcast, always incorrect, usually explicit, usually a lot of fun. So if you're interested, But I've created a podcast and YouTube studio in addition to just being a standard office in here. So we'll do a studio tour once it's all up and ready to go, which is like 5 minutes from now because I just finished building both sections of the desk. I'm very proud of it. But I digress. Whiskey. So flavor. I'm going to go ahead and give this a solid 7.5, 8 on flavor. I think that the more that I get my nose on it and the more that I really start to pick out flavors in tasting it more often, I'm going to enjoy it even more. So let's call it 7.5 to 8 on flavor. Price at $58. I had a buddy of mine pick it up. I couldn't find it around here, so I had a buddy of mine pick it up down in Iowa City for me. And at $58 US, that's not terrible for a nice 750 milliliter bottle of whiskey. Okay, so price, let's go ahead and give it an 8. An 8 for price. $25 would be better, but I bet it would taste like a $25 whiskey then. Flavor, 7.5 to 8. Price, we'll give it an 8. And then presentation. I am a sucker for a whiskey bottle. And again, it is nice, simple, understated, beautiful font, nice, almost like feminine curves to the bottle. I really enjoy it. I think that it's not quite as fancy as the Tullamore DEW bottle. That's just a sticker on the cork and nothing crazy going on the outside of the bottle. It's honestly, it's a generic whiskey bottle. I mean, you could put 1,000 different whiskeys in this and no one would ever know the difference. Even the stamping on the bottom, I guess they probably mass produce these. But the labeling is nice. The cork is fair to Midland. I enjoy the bottle, but it's nothing spectacular or terribly unique about it. So we'll just give it a solid 6 for presentation. You definitely can see all of the whiskey in the bottle. You can check out the coloring and everything. They're not hiding anything at all, but it's just nothing fantastic about it. So flavor, we're going to go with a 7.5 to 8. Price, we're going to go a solid 8. And then presentation, we'll give it a 6. Okay. As always, please, please, please enjoy your alcohol responsibly. Act like a grown-up. Don't let your family suffer due to your imbibing. Enjoy, but enjoy responsibly. If you do enjoy what you're seeing here on this channel, please do subscribe and leave some comments because I love interacting with people. Tell us what your favorite whiskey is. Tell me what I did wrong in this video. My feelings don't get hurt easy, okay? I always want to improve. Plus, I just like interacting with people. It's a lot of fun. So hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and ring the bell so you get notifications when this dumb mug gets on the screen. And please join us again for another review video, and happy responsible drinking.